in the big national wedding show at London Excel. I haven't done a national wedding show in about 3 years, and the first national wedding show I did was my first ever show. So I kind of got thrown in at the deep end and had to make a lot of mistakes and learn very quickly. Since then, I've done a few little shows. I've done some at wedding venues, at hotels, and I think like a local fair or something. And with every show, I have learned new things and learned how to do things better. So this video is about preparing for national wedding shows and just how to really make the most of the opportunity and make an impact with customers and enjoy them. They're not as horrible and as daunting as a lot of people can find them. It's just about kind of having the special tools to make the most of such a great opportunity. So, first of all, a very big problem that many people have is just not being very confident. It can be very, very nerve-wracking to stand at these big shows and promote yourself. Even if you're doing like a small hotel or something, it can be nerve-wracking promoting yourself and trying to sell your product, especially if you're quite an introverted person. So my suggestion is, first of all, it is your mindset. Now, you're running a business, you obviously feel capable at producing the product that you're trying to sell. You're obviously capable at delivering that product and setting it up, whatever it is. So you kind of need to lose that self-doubt for one, because you know you can do this. You know that you're very capable of making whatever these clients are asking for. So there's no reason to not feel confident when you are standing there as a supplier. Now, you're just talking to people. These are everyday people. They're just like you, and a lot of them have never planned a wedding before, so this is all very new for them as well. So you're only there just to answer questions, and that's all it is. Just see it as you're there as an information point. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on yourself and be like, I need to sell this cake, or I need to sell this product, and I need lots of people to sign up. Go there with the confidence that I have a product that I'm sure people will love. I love the product, so hopefully they will too. And I'm just there to talk about what I have to offer, and let them come to you. When I find the best thing to do at a show is don't play the whole like hard sale tactic. Let customers come to you, have a browse, and ask them a question. So ask them how their day is, ask them how their wedding planning's going, ask them how long they've been engaged for. Like, actually just take an interest in that couple. Because also sometimes when you're supplying something as personal as a wedding cake, for example, sometimes you're not always the best match for that couple. There's just some customers who you're not really made to work with, and that's okay. So you kind of want to have a good relationship with them too. So kind of get to know them a bit as well. You know, it doesn't have to be like, buy my cake, buy my product, because maybe they're not the right client for you either. So kind of take that approach, and take the approach that you're just getting to know people and just go in like a normal human being, okay? These are just people like you are people, and just talk to them. Don't freak out, and don't make it a big deal, because it doesn't need to be. But also, if you are incredibly shy or very nervous, just take someone with you that you know very well. So if you can rope in your best friend or a member of the family or your partner, and just someone that makes you feel very relaxed and chilled, it is always brilliant. Usually, because they don't have such a big investment in your business, and for them it's just like a fun day out to kind of, you know, be in a new situation that's not, you know, their usual job, they're usually a lot more relaxed because they don't have the pressure you have to make sales. So that can really help as well. It can just really help to have someone else to bounce off of, and they give you a bit of support and you can feel confident. I worked in sales, so I'm quite chilled at talking to people, but I must admit my very first wedding show, I was shaking. It was crazy. I went to hand out my first few samples and my hand was trembling. I don't even know why. It was just a new situation to be in, and it was like very personal to me. This is my baby. This is something that I've built, and they're my designs, and it can just be, you're always like, oh, if someone doesn't like it, that's gonna be horrible. But then you start to learn that does it matter, because even if they don't like it, someone else will come along and they will like the style that you're promoting. So don't worry about that. But yeah, my hands were shaking, and then as the day went on and I talked to more people, I really relaxed. And I took my husband with me. He was really great because he's like really confident and funny, and you know, so it just kind of felt like a day out, if that makes sense. You know, it just kind of eased the tension that might have been there. And the next show I did after that, I took my husband again, and then it got to a point where I went and did a show on my own, and I was so chilled and so relaxed. So it's just practice and getting into swing of things, but also just don't make it a big deal, because it's really not. If you've already used to having clients come to your studio or workspace, and you've talked to them and you've made and delivered many cakes, then what's the difference between being at a show? So yeah, that's the first thing, because I mean, that's pretty important, I guess. So yeah, right. Next thing is branding. Let's talk about branding. So basically, anything that you can hand out that has your details on, that has your company name, your website, phone number, whatever, is brilliant. So generally in the kind of cake industry, it might be cake samples. Sorry, I'm really not liking my hairstyle today. It's a bit messy. See, this is what happens. This week has been so crazy busy, and I've not stopped. I'm actually baking samples at the moment, and I just look like a maniac. Excuse me for that. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, so anything that you can hand out that is that has your sticker on. So I don't know, balloons, spoons, mugs, tote bags, badges, but generally cake samples. The best thing you can do is, when you're giving people cake samples, have it all packaged and wrapped so that they can take it away. It's got your logo on, and you don't have to stand there and then take back all the messy packages and have sticky wrappers in your hand and then have to keep walking away and throwing it in a bin, and it's all a faff. I did that the first year, and I was left with loads of wrappers, and it just wasn't fun really. So yeah, that's brilliant. Do that. Data collection. Run a competition or something. You need an incentive for people to give you their details. You don't want their details to spam them, you don't want their details to annoy them, but you want their details because wedding fairs are very busy. There's many suppliers. I really hate using the word many because it reminds me of Donald Trump, because many. But anyway, there are a lot of suppliers, and I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so there's so many suppliers, and you know, you can just get kind of lost. People will forget you. They will forget you, even if you've had a fantastic conversation with you and they absolutely love what you have to offer. So if you can collect people's details, it's really good, because then after the show you can just send them a little welcome email and say, you know, it was great talking to you, and we spoke about X, Y, and Z. You want a quote, send over the picture of the cake you like, or send over more details. Do you want to come for a tasting? Did you want to book your cake? Yada yada. So yeah, and like I say, maybe run a competition to get people to kind of sign up, or sometimes they just want to book a tasting and you say, well, you know what, I'll contact you rather than you contact me, which is always helpful. One big lesson I have learned also, if you do not fill out forms electronically at the show and it's all paper based, make sure that your forms are laid out almost like you were filling out forms for a passport. So you want everything to be, you know, fill this out in block capitals, each letter in each box. And that is because I remember coming home from a show once, and I couldn't read a lot of people's handwriting. It was all kind of cursive and scribbled together, and I couldn't send emails out to people because I had no idea what they've written down. I couldn't read it. So that's another thing. If you can kind of persuade people to fill out their details in that manner, it makes life easier for you. And I'm just checking my list down here because I've covered quite a lot very quickly. All your pricing, make sure all your pricing is very clear. So on every cake that you have on display as such, you want to have how much it is, nice and clear so people can read it from a distance, and the serving size. That helps them get a visual of the size of cake they need. That helps you if you have a terrible memory like I do, and it helps anyone that's helping you on the day, because if you do have to run off and they don't kind of know your prices very well, because as well, especially with cakes, everything's very bespoke, so it can be difficult to price. At least half the information's there, and brides know your price range as well, so you're not going to get the bride that's coming, or the bride, the couple, the groom, whoever, you're not going to have those people coming up to you where you're not really in their price range. Again, it just kind of saves time wasting, not to be rude, but there we go, it's how it is. And then also just take stuff that's on trend. I mean, obviously have a bit of personality, take cakes that you're really known for, but also it's good to have a few cakes out there that are really trending. It's brilliant because you'll have kind of bloggers and industry experts walking around, so they might want to take a few pictures of like your new kind of trending cakes that you have on your stand. But also it's just good for couples. They need to have a visual sometimes and see that you do make the product that they want, or that they've seen, and that you're contemporary and up to date, etc. Obviously you can't take all your cakes, so you might just want to take a portfolio as well. I don't generally take kind of naked or half-dressed cakes because it would involve me baking an actual sponge and then having icing on it and then transporting it, and then it's going to sit there for like 3 days under heated lamps. It's just kind of, I don't find it the most practical thing to do, but I have a portfolio that shows that I do make those cakes, and there's some lovely pictures of that, so you can show that to your customers or your potential customers too. So generally I think that kind of covers like the basic things of kind of getting your foot in the door and starting when you do a wedding show or fair. The biggest thing really is that people buy from people. I know it's kind of cliche to say, but it's very true. So, I mean, my first fair, if I'm honest, I think the cakes that I took were a little, you know, they weren't great. They were not, the designs were just kind of, I don't know, I don't think they were great, to be honest. And my display, like the stand wasn't looking great because I'd never done one before, so I kind of didn't understand how to decorate the stand properly, and I didn't understand how you put that fancy brick wallpaper on the back of those exhibits. And my table was wonky because it was last minute and that's all I could get hold of that would fit in my car, so it was a bit of a nightmare, but I actually made quite a lot of sales. And the thing that saved me was because I had cake samples that tasted delicious, and I just talked like a normal human being and just sold myself and was confident and kind and listened to people. Don't have an attitude, don't be rude, be helpful, be as helpful as possible, because these couples, they don't know what they're doing, so you need to kind of be the beacon of light, to say. You need to be the person that can just make them feel confident that it's a simple process, and booking a wedding cake isn't daunting, and it should be enjoyable, and it's a great experience. And yeah, so just be the great person that you are and be good to people, and it will kind of shine through, and they'll want to stay at your stand and talk to you and hear what you have to say, and then take a flyer home and then book you in for a wedding cake. That's my theory. Yeah. Right, so what I'm hoping to do, it might be a YouTube, it probably more likely to be a live stream on Instagram, if I'm honest, is I want to also talk this weekend about decorating exhibit stand, how I'm going to do it, because I didn't have any of this information when I started out, and now I'm learning, and I'm going to try and put my funky wallpaper on the background, and I've had the lovely Rachel from Higher Love, who has given me some beautiful pieces of furniture to put my stand, and I'm just hoping this year my stand is going to just be the best. It's going to look amazing. I've got lots of lights, so I really want to film how I'm going to kind of go through the whole process of setting up an exhibit stand, how we're going to display things, etc. But yeah, so that might be a YouTube video, but it most likely will be a live Instagram stream. So follow me on Instagram, and then I kind of show you what we're getting up to. So, happy baking, have a great day, and be kind, people.